Welcome to ACC Crunch Time with your host, Patrick O'Brien. Welcome to another ACC Crunch Time with your host, Patrick O'Brien here, where we talk about certain topics in under 10 minutes here to get your day rolling here. Today we're going to talk about the matchup that's very intriguing in the ACC. No, we're not talking about the Clemson-Louisville game because that's going to be on everybody's mind there. I'm talking about the Florida State North Carolina game here. 3:30 kickoff on Saturday. North Carolina comes in at 3-1, 1-0 in ACC with their thrilling win against the Pittsburgh Panthers last week. They're going to travel down to Tallahassee, where the Florida State comes in number 12 ranked in the nation, 3-1, 0-1 overall with the only loss to Louisville. Right now, the Seminoles are favored by 10 points at home, which is understanding and everything. You could see a little drop or a little change in that. But I figure it's going to stay about that point spread there. What I want to look at is, looking into this one, is how the defenses have been, shaping up so far this season here. Florida State has struggled. They were one of the top defenses, supposed to be coming in with that talent, but it has not panned out now due to some injuries, some key ones especially. But right now the Seminoles are giving up 453 yards per game in 2016. That's compared to only 342 yards in 2015. They're giving up almost 100 more yards than last year. And you can see it. I mean, you saw it against Ole Miss. You saw it against Louisville when they got destroyed. And now you saw it against USF. Even though they were able to put up points, they still gave up a ton of yardage there. Right now, the Seminoles are ranked number 88th in the nation. But then, on the flip side of that, North Carolina, they're giving up about 401 yards per game, 60th in the nation, slightly better than the Seminoles, and it's also better than what they were giving up last year, 461 yards per game. But it's where they're giving the yardage there. That's what makes this matchup so intriguing. So I'm going to kind of break it down here, looking at the stats between the two teams and everything. I'm going to start with the Florida State. Right now, they're giving up about 230 yards per game passing, which ranks them 63rd. They're giving up 223 yards rushing, which makes them 98th in the nation. Right now, if you're looking at North Carolina, it's going to be the Mitch Trubisky show. He's been red hot, completing about 75% of his passes. He had a career night looking for his main guy, Ryan Switzer, last week. He's been setting some career goals early on this season. He's thrown for 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's been playing exceptionally for the under Larry Fedora, and rightfully so. Many people thought he could be one of the top quarterbacks in the ACC and maybe in the nation there, and he certainly has showed that. And there's certainly Larry Fedora is going to be looking at those stats there coming into the game. So I expect they're going to be looking to get the ball in Mitch Trubisky's hand. Quick passes, up tempo. Kind of pace there, smart, fast, physical. That's their motto there in North Carolina there. But they also would like to get the running backs in the air. They didn't last week against Panthers. They had under 40 to 50 yards rushing with Hood and Logan. That needs to change. If UNC wants to have any kind of luck on the road in a tough environment against the Seminoles, they got to get Hood and Logan rolling. The Seminoles are giving up a ton of yardage on both sides. So if the Tar Heels can find a balanced attack and use Trubisky along with the run game, they certainly have a good shot of pulling off the upset there. But it has to have if the Seminoles can make them one-dimensional, I would say that it favors now the Florida State in this matchup. But then on the flip side, you got to look at the North Carolina. If you're just looking at the passing defense there, they've only given up 150 yards per game, ranks 10th in the nation, 10th. But then when you look at this, is it more that teams don't need a pass? Because right now, Carolina and Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator, they're giving up 250 yards per game on the ground, which ranks them 111th in the nation. And people are literally taking advantage of this. I mean, you see it almost every week now. Yeah, started with Nick Chubb, 222 yards rushing. He hasn't had a performance even remotely close to that now this year. You saw last week James Conner over 100 yards, great running back. But I mean, he shredded the defense along with everybody else. Got some carries against Carolina, and then you have to when you have Dalvin Cook, a Heisman contender, who just came off a performance that ran for 267 yards on 28 carries. Jimbo Fisher and Dalvin Cook are salivating against this defense, and they are going to push. They are going to bring everybody up in the box. They're going to have to. If they don't, you might as well say, wave goodbye to Dalvin Cook down the field, because he's going to be flying by you, especially the way this defense is playing. So it's intriguing. This match is intriguing in the ACC, not only because both teams come 3-1. If Carolina can get that solid or big win, road win, I think they'll be back in the top 25. Florida State, they have to pretty much win because they cannot fall to another ACC opponent and go to 0-2 in the ACC, especially they haven't even played Clemson yet. But what I'm looking at with this one is, each defense is a weak point for their team against what the opponent's offense is doing. Florida State, they're going to run the ball. They're going to look to it. They might as well because, after Cook finally got going against USF, why would he stop against even worse run defense in North Carolina there? And it's at home. But North Carolina can certainly pull off that upset if they can get that balanced attack. If Mitch Trubisky can continue his excellent play, limiting turnovers there, making short, complete passes there, and moving that offense up and down there. They struggled a little bit against Pittsburgh. That's due probably to the run game. Eventually, the passing game did take over. They were able to secure the win. But if they were able to get that run game going, which they did against Panthers, it could have been a totally different story there. Especially, you can just look at that by the time of possession between those two teams. It was terrible. It was terrible. So look at those two factors. It's an interesting one to in the ACC that I'm going to be looking at. Probably, I would say maybe the behind the Louisville, the Clemson game, which obviously that's the top game of the week. I would say this is the second best matchup in the ACC there. So, and definitely an important one there. So check those out. Check out some more ACC Crunch Times this week. We got some more coming and some previews. Might get some writers back on here, talk a few previews, especially the big one on Saturday at 8 o'clock between the Cardinals and the Tigers. Always continue to check out our website. We got some great articles coming up, some intriguing topics to talk about from myself and from our writers here. Certainly get in touch with us. Follow us on Instagram, our Twitter at All Things ACC. Get on our message board that we have on our website. We continue to check out our podcast. Follow us now on our podcast, our Blog Talk Radio. We have two ways, and now you can listen to us. Blog Talk Radio, which you can find the link on the website, and follow us. And you can also follow us, have it on our YouTube channel there. So we got so many avenues for you to get out there, listen to us, get your own thoughts out there. And, look for us some more coming down this week as we preview and recap some more from there's some Week 5 matchups here in the ACC. Other than that, you have a great day.